An interview was released about a week ago where the characters were asked about the Tejada family or the St. Patrick's, and it actually got me thinking, who is the most deadliest of families? So I break it down, each family traits from what we know about the Tejada family so far and the St. Patrick's. Welcome to MovieBot, and let's talk the Tahardas versus the St. Patrick's. So it's the Power Week and we're only a few days away from Power Book 2's premiere on Sunday. So I'm going to be bringing you content all week. Character breakdowns, reviews, predictions, any updates on any trailers or teasers that they release. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to MovieBot. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. I'm going to be the go-to channel for anything Power Universe related. But Starz released a few pictures on Instagram titled Meet the Tejada Family. So I'm going to break down exactly who the Tejada family are and how they compare to the St. Patrick's. If Ghost was still around as well, how would he have actually fared against Monet? So for most of you guys, you know I've spoken a lot about Monet and Kane Tejada in depth in these videos here, so I'll try not to focus on their characteristics, but focus on how they'd fare against the St. Patrick's. More so Ghost and Tasha in this video. I'll leave a link to those videos about Monet in the description and in the comment section, and I'll come to Monet and Kane later on in this video. But who are the rest of the Tahardas? Now this is Diana, which most of you probably already know that this photo, I think it just confirms the relationship that Tariq and Diana are going to have in this first season. And is Monet going to be happy about it when she finds out? Of course she's not, but I don't think that would make too much of the storyline with the Tahardas. I think it'll only play a small part, and this is one of the Tahardas that I don't think will make it out alive in the first season. But I'm going to talk about a few of my death predictions at the end of the video, which is going to feature the Tejada family. But this is an image that I'm not sure many of you may have seen. Some of you may have seen it, but in the small trailer we got for Monet's character, we saw Monet talking about there being a difference between family and blood, but we never saw who she was actually talking to. But she was actually talking to Kane and Diana, and I think it's just her way of warning not just Diana, but Kane as well, that people can be blood related, but it doesn't necessarily make them family. I think it's just a way of Monet keeping control over her family, not in control in a bad way, but in a way where all she's trying to do is protect them, because I think we'll see a really protective Monet, very protective over her family, and this is a trait very similar to Ghost. But when I say similar to Ghost, more the first couple of seasons Ghost rather than the Ghost we saw later on in the Power series, because we saw how cautious Ghost was when Kanan was released from prison. Tommy instantly wanted to integrate him back into the game and classed him as a family, but Ghost even said to Tommy that they need to get to know him again because he'd been locked up for a long time and people can change, and he was right. Even though they grew up together, Kanan did change, and to be honest with you, rightly so, because it was Ghost that put him in prison in the first place. And this is the key difference between the Tahardas and the St. Patrick's, but more so Monet and Ghost, that I think will be evident from the offset, which is loyalty. The Tahardas are going to be very loyal to one another, and that wasn't always the case with Ghost or the St. Patrick's. And I'm going to put Tommy in that bracket as well, because he was practically family to Ghost, Tasha and Tariq. They were loyal when it came to the feds. They never cracked under pressure when they were being interviewed by Agent Blanca or Cooper Sachs, but in general, away from being questioned by the feds, they weren't very loyal to each other. Ghost and Tasha weren't loyal when it came to setting up Kanan and having him put behind bars. Also, Ghost's relationship with Tasha, he wasn't loyal there either, but neither was Tasha. She was up with Sean, Terry Silver, Quinton, but that stemmed from Ghost not being loyal. Tommy and Ghost eventually fell out, and Tariq considered Kanan more of a father than he ever did Ghost. So let's just say the loyalty in that family is questionable, and Tariq as well. I think he's a little bit of a snake, to be honest with you, but it doesn't take away the fact that I still think he'll be great in this series in book 2, but still, he's a snake, and sometimes I think you have to be. But loyalty is something that I think will be engraved in the Tahardas. I don't think we'd see Kane or Diana having another figure that they'd look up to apart from Monet. Like Tariq did with Kanan, I don't think we'll see Monet sleeping around with other men either much at all. I think we won't see either conflict between the Tejada family itself, but maybe conflict that is caused by a third party, maybe by Tariq being with Diana, which Monet and Kane of course won't be approving of. And Ghost had a tendency to say things and go back on his word as well. Ghost initially said to Tariq that he'd take the fall for Ray Ray's murder, but then changed his mind when he got into political power. He said to Tariq that he should hand himself in, face the consequences instead. But would we see Monet going back on her word to one of her kids or anyone in her family? I genuinely don't think we would. I think if Monet says something, she'll stand by it, and she'll do anything to protect her family. Now who would you say that sounds similar to? Tasha. Tasha's a character who would do anything to protect her kids first and foremost, just like Monet would. She took the fall for Ghost's murder, and she's pretty similar to Monet in terms of her motives of being very protective over her family. And I think when it comes to the showdown, we'll see that similar trait where both will do whatever it takes to make sure their family is protected. But in terms of the street, let's just say Monet would swipe Tasha in my opinion. Tasha doesn't have a crew, she doesn't have any street cred, she doesn't have any people that will fall in line with the click of her fingers like Monet does. Monet will strike fear into people and put people in line, just just like she warns Tariq, I think she's going to keep Tariq in line by teaching him a few harsh lessons. Sure, Tasha was ruthless at times when she needed to be, like killing Lakeisha, using Terry Silver, trying to pin the murder of Ghost on Quinton. But Monet versus Tasha, I personally think there can only be one winner, and that would be Monet. And I think Monet could be so ruthless and she could keep Tariq in line by having Grandma Estelle killed, because I'm sure that's Tasha attending her funeral. I think there could be 2 funerals. Now she wouldn't be allowed to go to Ghost's funeral considering she's accused of murdering him. It wouldn't make sense, but she may well have got special dispensation to go to her mom's funeral instead. Or it could be Power playing tricks on us and she's just having a dream altogether. Now that's my personal opinion. I may change it as book 2 goes on, but I genuinely don't think Tasha will come anywhere close to where Monet is. Tasha relied a lot on Ghost, and without Ghost she was pretty much nothing. She needed him and stayed with him despite knowing he was cheating on her with Angela. And to be honest with you, if someone cheated on Monet, do you think she'd stand for it? Not like the way Tasha did, of course she wouldn't. I'm gonna come to Kane, Tariq and Diana in just a moment, but just hypothetically, if Ghost was still alive and came up against Monet, who do you think would win? Let's just break Ghost's characteristics down against Monet. Ghost was smart, strategic, he loved being one step ahead of his enemies always, and he always liked staying under the radar. He never liked the limelight until later on in the series when he got into politics, because he wanted out of the game. But Monet, she lives and breathes the streets in my personal opinion. I think we're going to see even more of a streetwise Monet than we did Ghost, and a female that has so much respect like that in the street. Don't you think she's built up over the years being so solid, and they have so much similar traits as well in terms of they like being one step ahead of their enemies. Monet does this by having Shalim Ortiz working for her. He's going to be playing an NYPD officer, Danila Ramirez, and that's just one of many ways that she's going to stay ahead of her enemies as well as keeping people in line. But I honestly couldn't call it Ghost or Monet. Who would come out on top? I'm on the fence. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But Kane versus Tariq, I've touched on this in my previous video. Who's going to come out on top in this battle? Kane, Kanan. I don't think the names are similar for no reason. They're both villains and they're both disliked. I think they're going to be a tough as shit, especially Kane. We've seen this already from that clip that we got from GMA when Kane handled this dude. And Tariq looks a little shook. I don't think we'll see these two go fully head to head till later on in the season, because they've got a lot of character development to do for Tariq. They need to make him a likable character again, and I think they could use Kane to make this happen. But let's not doubt Tariq, he's a tough kid as well. I mean, he was taught by Kanan, he killed Ray, he shot Ghost, so this kid's gonna be pretty much comfortable when it comes to pulling the trigger. But I don't think we'll see this until the back end of the season, because he's gonna want to stay on the right side of the law, especially when he wants to get Tasha out of prison at least. But come towards the end of the season, I think our boy Tariq is gonna have Kane fried on toast. I think we'll see a similar trait to what Ghost had, where Kane thinks he's on top, but Tariq has figured it out how to get one step ahead of his enemy, and Tariq is going to surprise us. Now here's some more death predictions. Do I expect all of the Tahardas to make it out alive at the end of season 1 of book 2? Not a chance. Now I said I'd give some more death predictions, so I'm predicting Tariq to either pull the trigger on either Kane or at least another one of the members of the Tahardas, maybe Diana. And that's when we'll see a real war develop when Tasha gets out of prison. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, the Tahardas versus the St. Patrick's. And what do you make of Ghost versus Monet? Drop me your thoughts down below, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you smash the subscribe button. I'm going to be the go-to channel for anything Power Universe related, from reviews, breakdowns and up-to-date news. So make sure you smash the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.